collision with purpose, in pursuit of purpose.
Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome, welcome to In the Spotlight, the unfiltered conversation. In the Spotlight is a groundbreaking talk show dedicated to bringing raw, unfiltered conversation to the forefront. This is a show where no topic is off limits and real talk takes center stage. Each episode delves into the heart of pressing issues ranging from politics, society, culture, and personal struggles to the triumphs and challenges of everyday life. My name is Donna Thompson, and I will be your host today.
And I'm Dr. Laxley Stevenson, your co-host, and together we are your moderators.
All right, and we will have a special guest with us this evening. But before we introduce our guest to hear all about the wonderful things that our guest is doing, let's talk a little bit about a collision with purpose, Dr. Stevenson. So tell us what's going on with a collision with purpose.
Wow, where do I begin? There's so much going on, right? So much. First, let's see that shirt. What is on that shirt that you're wearing, that hoodie?
Oh, let me move this out of the way. In pursuit of purpose.
In pursuit of purpose. And that's what it's all about, right? That's what a collision with purpose is all about. I have some other stuff here I want to show. We have shirts like Walking in Purpose.
Oh, nice.
We have, wow, so many of them, right? We have Good Old Purpose. So everything about us is what? Purpose, right? Of course, these garments are for sale. You can get access to them on our website, or you can contact us directly, DM, whatever way you want to do it. They're for sale. But I'll tell you what I'm really excited about. This thing right here.
Oh, nice.
Hurting you, your guide. So can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Let me just, like we said, we have here Unearthing You. It's the new guide. It's your guide to self-discovery and personal growth, which is now for sale. You can actually definitely pick up your copy today. But let me just give you a little bit of information about Unearthing You. It's a comprehensive guide on the beautiful journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Of course, that's your personal growth. And it's designed as an engaging and interactive guide, which will assist you in understanding your deepest self and realizing your fullest potential. So once again, it's published. It's available for purchase on the website. Pick up your copy today. There's also a phenomenal workshop that goes along with this guide. So you definitely want to go ahead and get your copy and get your workshop going as well, so that you can definitely start living that full life that you deserve. So, go ahead, Doctor.
Each time I open this book, as involved as I am with the book, in structuring and writing the book, I'm discovering things about myself. I'm finding that I am going through the unearthing process as well. So I highly encourage you, get this book, get the workshop, and let's begin the process to unearthing you. There's another book that I want to talk about. It's called A Collision with Purpose, In Pursuit of Purpose. What do you have to say about A Collision with Purpose, Donna?
Oh my gosh, this is a phenomenal book. It's a book of individuals who have told their stories, several stories of trials and tribulations and challenges and things that they had to overcome. But within overcoming those things, they somehow found their purpose and started to live within their purpose and align within their purpose. So once again, this is another book that is just a great read. You absolutely want to go ahead and get a copy of that book. It will be coming out in December. So once that book launches, go ahead and get that copy. And I promise you, you will not regret this read at all.
I mean, should I say anything about the Learning Academy? Or maybe we should leave that for another conversation.
No, let's talk about it while we're here. Why not?
We're here, right?
Yeah.
Well, in February, we'll be announcing the Learning Academy. We have a series of courses that we're putting together. You know, some of them will make such a huge difference in helping any individual, all of us, to find our purpose and to live a more meaningful, impactful life. So that is happening, but there's another event that I want you to talk about.
Oh, yes. This will be the Colloquium that will be happening in February 24th of 2024. And that will take place at the Shiloh High School Theater. And that is 4210 Shiloh Road, Snellville, Georgia. So that's here in Georgia. Of course, you can go ahead and, register. We have a link for you to register and get your ticket. This is going to be a phenomenal event. Once again, you will have our book signing with Dr. Stevenson of the Collision with Purpose book. And we'll also be honoring a number of individuals who are of very importance in our community. And we just want to recognize them for the work that they've been doing within their community and serving their community and the impact that they have as well, while living in their purpose. We definitely invite you to come out with us and have a great time.
And if you're paying attention, you would have seen February 10th on the flyer, but it's actually going to be February 24th. Just want to make the corrections there. And, interestingly, this gentleman here, Mr. One, who is special guest today, he's very much a part of the process of In Pursuit of Purpose. And you'll get to hear more from him today. But before we get to hearing from Mr. One, let's take a quick break.
A collision with purpose. In pursuit of purpose.
So welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. And before I introduce our guest, I would just like to say I see there's a Facebook user that has joined us. I would like to say thanks for joining us. I don't see your name, but thank you so much for joining us this evening. And with further ado, I will go ahead, and our guest today will be Mr. Juan Marcel Smith. Let me give you a little bit of background information about Mr. Smith. He is the founder of Improve You Coaching and Consulting LLC. It's a for-profit strategic company, and he's a proud graduate of the Lithonia High School. He also graduated with a bachelor's in psychology from Georgia State University. He holds a master's in leadership and administration from the Buelo Heights University. His experience in education have afforded him several opportunities and positions in both secondary and post-secondary education. And Mr. Smith has committed to guiding young men and women in discovering their God-given purpose with his role as an independent college and career coach and over 8 years of experience in the capacity of advisor, youth pastor, community liaison, counselor, and coach. So without further ado, I would love for us to go ahead and welcome Mr. Smith.
There
Good
he is.
evening.
Good evening.
There he
How's it
is.
going? Hello, hello.
The man of the hour. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm so excited to be here. I'm elated. I am just extremely overjoyed. I think this is a great opportunity, a great platform. So I'm just excited just to delve into this conversation.
One, it is appropriate that you're our first guest on this platform. I've known you for quite some time, and I'm a fan. I've seen you grown, and I've seen you done amazing things with your life and in the communities that you serve. So I want to welcome you to this platform. And I know Donna will tell you that this platform is about real talk,
Yes.
authentic talk. So coming on here tells me that that's what you're here for, and that's what you're willing to do. Unfiltered conversation. So welcome. But one, talk to me about what you're wearing there. Wake up. What does it
What's
say?
on your shirt?
Yeah.
So it says, "Wake up, hustle, and create freedom."
Talk to us about that.
Well, it's it caught my attention. For some years now, I will say this. One thing I will credit to Dr. Stevenson. One thing I learned, and many years ago, he said we've known each other for years. It's been over 20 years. Can you believe it? And one thing I learned from him is that when you are, and as we're talking about tonight, actually moving and working and walking in purpose, what you're doing for yourself is creating freedoms, not just for you, but for generations to come, right? So that's financial freedom. Of course, we know if you're moving to financial freedom, you have the freedom of a flexible schedule. You can go, you can live and just do how you please when you have the liberty to do so. So every day I get up on purpose to do what it is I believe I'm called to do, to continue to create those freedom opportunities, that liberty that I would like to live in and move in, but not also myself, but my daughter and those to come after me.
It's a generational thing, huh?
Absolutely. It's about legacy. It's about legacy.
And we're going to talk about your legacy today because you're building a legacy. Tell us about who's Juan. Talk to us about who's Juan.
Who is Juan? Juan is a friend, a brother, a son, a student of life. I would definitely say I'm a student of life. I'm always open to learn and forever growing and learning and developing. I believe in having a growth mindset. So every opportunity I get to take on tools or acquire skills or even just knowledge to create and develop a better version of myself, I'm always open to do that. So I would say the top of everything, I'm a student of life.
Forever learner, huh?
Yes.
I know Donna have some specific questions to ask you. Donna, you want to go ahead?
That's very interesting when you said a student for life. I find that it's like, how do you place yourself in the company of others where you're always learning? Like, are you strategic in how you seek those opportunities, or how do you place yourself in those instances when you say like you're a student for life and you're always learning?
Well, I'll start off by saying this. I do believe that there are opportunities that present itself based on time, and I just believe in God's perfect timing. So I think a lot of things that I've had the privilege of experiencing and encountering weren't always to my doing, right? It was His providence, and just Him being as sovereign as He is, He made the decision for me to meet and to connect and to have the experiences that I have. So that's the first thing for me. Secondly, my dad always says this. He says, if you're the richest person in your group, you're in trouble. If you're the smartest person in your friend group, you're in trouble, And so he would always say, show me your friends, and I can promise you, tell you the type of person you are, the kind of man that you are, And so he always pushed me to really reflect, and it's more like self-awareness, What are the things about myself that I would like to either acquire or develop or in advance, right? And as I meet people and meet individuals, and I see certain things about them, or just like skill sets, mindsets, or just things that they know and do that interest me. I meet them, I introduce myself, and I connect with them to kind of get an understanding of how they got to where they are. My dad always he says this as well. He was like, you should be around people who make you feel uncomfortable, who challenge you and stretch you to want to be better. So I find myself around a lot of people who are in various industries, but they are almost like experts and superstars in the industries. And so it challenges me to want to be better in the industry and area of my profession. So I just always look around, and I'm aware, like, okay, who's around me? Who's stretching me? Who's challenging me? What do they have that I can get? What can I glean from them?
Stretching mind. So.
Yes.
Yeah, and I see that, like, even just reading your bio, and you're very active with the children, with young people, so like with your mindset of always learning, and basically life is learning, you're always learning. How do you encourage young people who may think different, or they may be in a bad situation or something, and they don't see the positive side of whatever that situation is? Like, how do you flip that script to where you can tell those young people that life is really all about learning, and encourage them, if that makes sense?
No, it makes sense. I think the first thing that I learned when I started, I've been working with youth and young adults. I was 20. so for about 20 years, just about. And so one thing I learned just from mentors and leaders that I had just throughout my journey is building rapport. One thing I learned from John Maxwell, in studying leadership, what the leadership guru, he says this, he says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so when I got into education in 2012, I came in, and it was an inner city school. And, you have, certain individuals who like to be seen and heard in the class clown. And I remember at the time I was working there, I was a graduation coach, and I also was over the recovery credit unit for the high school. So I had an individual, he was in there, and he would come in late, disturb the class, and just, be a complete nuisance. And so one day I just stood up and I just told him very direct. I was like, either you're going to comply or you can get out. Well, he didn't comply, so we didn't get out. I put him out, and I was like, there, we solved the problem, So I actually went home. Of course, I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, this is what's going on, education, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, and his response was not the way I intended for it to go, right? He said, Juan, I don't think that was a good idea, son. I'm like, I removed the problem. He said, yeah, but you removed him in front of his peers. So you've embarrassed him. So any way that, or any opportunity that you had to connect with him, to build a relationship or trust or rapport, you've pretty much squandered that. You've cut those ties. And I remember sitting there like, and I thought through, and I had to go in that place where, how would I have wanted someone to approach me in the same space. And so the very next time, he was in class, I just pulled him outside. I apologized. And I was like, it's my heart to, number one, to serve you and figure out whatever you need, making sure that you have those tools and you are fully equipped to succeed. I don't think it's going to happen with you being outside of instruction or inside this classroom. So here's my thing. We make an agreement, a pact. If I'm gonna do my best to respect you, I expect the same thing, but whatever you need and I have it, I'm gonna make sure that you get it. But I need for you to have that same angst, that same, push and excitement. I said, because the only person responsible for your success is you. I'm just your support. And he actually signed on to it. And so then on out, we got, his recovery credits. He was able to move on to at that time, it's an alternative school where they have to get their credits to a certain amount and then they can go there, finish the rest of their courses and graduate. Well, he graduated. And the interesting thing was he came back to the school excited. He was like, Mrs. Smith, he was like, look, I did it. I finished. And that was my first experience in education with walking with someone from start to finish and seeing them through, even having to course correct for myself.
Right.
To ensure that they felt supported in the way that they needed to feel supported. So to answer your question, I would say meeting them where they are. Understanding. And I always start here. I was like, what's your story? Where do you come from? Which is pretty much why I study psychology. I'm interested and intrigued with the human mind. Why do people tick? What makes them tick? Why do they think the way that they do? So I would say start there. Is just understanding their story, meeting them where they are.
Right. Nice. How did that make you feel?
I felt good. I felt so, because the thing is, my experience in education has always been in inner city schools. So these, of course, the underserved, underrepresented, lower income students, families, in these communities. So to see someone who looked like me, was very rewarding, because I was able to show him by example. And the question was asked earlier, how do you do that? And I was like, by being, and another answer to that is just being an example. I think that's when I started taking on that mindset of being a mentor, because it helps. I know for me, it helped me to strive when I saw a man that looked like me doing something that I was interested in doing, or just providing for his family, or just being a decent individual, a respected man. I wanted to be that, because I saw him. He looks like me. That's my example. If he can do it, then I know it's possible.
Right. Nice. Thank you. Well, back to you, Doctor.
One, let's talk about Boarding Pass Travel Group. Can you share with our audience what that is all about?
So Boarding Pass Travel Group is my travel company. I am an entrepreneur, and one of my businesses is a travel company. I am a certified travel advisor, or what they used to say, travel agent. The new wording, a certified travel advisor. And that just, what it is, I provide the premier services and premier experiences, that my clients are looking for, be it vacation packages, honeymoon, just all of that. I specialize definitely in honeymoons and group travel.
That's good to know.
And they've gone as far as Dubai and Jamaica. They've gone to, everywhere.
So Don, I know you're taking a group to Kenya. Maybe you will need his service. Group of 20 to Kenya. Maybe you'll need his service, right?
That's good to know.
One more thing I want to ask you about your work, as the founder of Improve You Coaching and Consulting LLC. Talk to us about that, because I know you're doing some significant work there.
Yeah. It's like, many of my businesses. This one is my baby. I was just a short story. When I think it's 2010, we talked about real talk, right? So in 2010, between 2009 and 2010, I just, had been really searching, finding my way, finding myself, which is going through a trying time in my life. And I just kept asking, like, why me, why me, why me? And the response I started to get was just, why not you? You know, the very thing that troubles you, that frustrates you, may be the very thing that you're called to speak to, you know. And so I was going through that. I was, you know, just reading more, you know, stuff on John Maxwell. I was just reading, you know, information about finding purpose, you know, purpose-driven life, just, you know, material like that. And so I started thinking, I was going through therapy. I ended up going through a divorce at the time. And so that was just very, just extremely challenging, somewhat traumatic. And in that time, I felt so alone and abandoned and just lost, just all of these things that I struggled with my purpose. And I remember being in therapy, and it was my therapist actually who became a mentor of mine. Thank God, Dr. Cola. He actually suggested when we were talking through my passion and how I'm passionate about helping people discover who they are. He was like, "Why not become a life coach?" And I was like, what is that? You know, so he helped me discover and just really find that passion and redirect, you know, my attention and my focus. So I ended up becoming a certified life strategies coach. But in that process, I was just thinking like, well, what can my practice be called? And I thought about a saying I heard many years ago. And what the speaker was saying, he was like, stop spending so much time trying to prove yourself and work on improving yourself. And that stuck with me. Like, I don't have to sit here and try to figure out how to prove myself to somebody, right? My biggest competition is myself. I'm the only one who can get in my way. So what I should be more focused on is improving myself. And that's where Improve You came from, Improve You Coaching Consulting. And I started then, and that was 2011. So I've been doing it since that time. And so now it was just coaching. Throughout the years, I've partnered with friends and helped them out, you know, when starting their businesses, helping them write business plans, getting them incorporated, just different things like that, helping them with logos and slogans and trademarks. And so I was like, you know what? That's business consulting. So that became another piece of the practice. So that's just what I do now. Much of what I do now is coaching and consulting.
Go ahead, Donna.
Oh, nice. Sounds like I need your service.
You could use his service. Huh? Well, and then continuing real talk. You know, I've known, as I've said earlier, I've known you for quite a while, and I've known you as a youth pastor. You want to talk to us about that?
Yes. If you can't tell, I'm really passionate just about number one, just being a part of the journey or the process of individuals finding out who they are. And I know for me, my biggest thing, one of my favorite quotes is this by Dr. Maya Angelou. She says, "When you get, give. When you learn, teach."
Mhm.
And I honestly, that's how I try to live my life. If I got it, you can have it. When I learn it, it's my responsibility to teach it. And so that's how I feel. Just I'm a product of mentorship. I'm a product of people, older individuals taking the time to say, hey, try this. Hey, go this way. Hey, be mindful of that. And so it's almost like I'm paying it forward. What's been given to me, I desire to give that same thing to the youth and young adults, you know, helping them figure out, you know, who they are, you know, and my process, me finding myself in Christ is what led me to where I am today. There were so many things just being broken, you know, and damaged and just, you know, traumatized, all these different things. And it's so many, I always tell people that I could have ended up being the most hateful, you know, meanest person that you could have ever met. Right. But at some point, as I matured, I was like, I want to be this type of individual, right? I want to be this type of man. I want to be this type of father, friend, and so on. And that took me learning who Christ was. And I had to go to him for myself. And in finding him, I found myself. I found that peace. I found that comfort. I just started to develop and become the man that I wanted to be and realize the power that I had within. And so that's pretty much what I look forward to, just helping my youth and just young adults discover. You know, you asked the question about when life is troubling. You know, that I've been through enough in life. And of course, just how life is set up, there'll be more. But where I am now, I feel qualified to tell youth and young adults, hey, it gets better. Just, you know, older folks used to tell me when I was younger, keep living a little bit longer. And it used to annoy me, but they were right. I kept living a little bit longer, and I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, right? You know, one thing I learned is this. One of my favorite scriptures is Psalm 23, you know, and when he says, you know, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you know, one thing just from that insert right there, I realized that a shadow is only an indication that light is present. Because if I'm in the dark, I can't see a shadow. But the only way I can see a shadow is if light is behind it or above it. And so that encouraged me. So that's really, in a nutshell, my message that I give to my youth and young adults, that even when it seems like the darkest at night, right, that it's not. If you look and you keep looking, you will see that light. No matter how dim it seems, the light is still present. And keep in mind that the shadow is only there because there's light behind it, you know. So that, and I'm just passionate about helping them discover that, finding themselves in God, because I really believe that because he's the creator of it all and he knows all, you know, if you're connected with him and you're seeking him for wisdom and guidance and even discovering your purpose, like Jeremiah 29:11 says, what? I know the plans that I have for you. So if he knows the plans and I go to him seeking understanding of what that plan is, then as the father, he's only going to want to steer and guide me in the right way. So I feel like it's my responsibility to help guide them to him so that he can lead them to where they need to be.
Wow. Powerful. I love it.
Wow. So you see why it's so fitting that Juan should be our first guest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of great nuggets.
And that is exactly what this platform is all about. You know, we talk about this unfiltered conversation, and that's exactly what we're having here today. Juan, how can listeners or guests, how can they get in touch with you to you know, get your service, to seek your service? How can they get in touch with you if they need your service?
Well, of course, email works best. And that's jmarcelsmith@gmail.com. I also, my Instagram, it reads Improve You Coaching and Consulting LLC. So this is Juan Marcel. That's my tag on Instagram. This is Juan Marcel. And so that's just another way and platform that I use for spreading messages, connected with individuals, just different things, as sort of bookings and stuff like that.
And of course, Juan will be a featured speaker at our book launch, you know, ceremony. Donna, you have a fancy name for it. What do you call it?
Called the colloquium.
A colloquium, right? One will be involved in that whole process. He'll be a featured speaker there, you know, and we will be honoring him there for all the good work, great work that he's doing. And we've only touched on the surface of what he's doing. Anything else you want to share with our audience, with our listeners, Juan?
I do. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. This platform is what is needed for today, the times that we're living in. But I do want to just reiterate that it does get better. It is dark. Oftentimes, there's a lot just that goes on. But whatever that looks like, I want to guarantee that tomorrow is always another opportunity to get it right or do it again. You know, it's never too late to do what you should have done in the beginning. It's never too late to start over, you know, and I believe that there's always opportunities for us to just continue to work on being a better version of ourselves. No matter where we start, it's really about how we finish.
True words.
True words, true words. You know, it's ongoing. The work is ongoing.
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
never built. We're always been built, right? So it's a process, and ongoing.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes.
And that is why you see that thing Donna is wearing there, that outfit thing there. What do you call it? It says in pursuit of purpose.
Yes.
You know, it's not the thing that you get there. We're always in pursuit of purpose. And in fact, that's what this whole thing is all about, a collision with purpose, in pursuit of purpose, helping others to discover their purpose. Because indeed, we all have a purpose, right? And you've said it so well. But it's just a matter of helping others to recognize and discover, and not just to discover it, but start to implement it and use it to impact lives, right? Outside of their own lives. So that's
Can I say this? this last thing, this saying just came to me that another saying that I use often, that I live by myself, is that life is a journey, not a destination. We were talking about life, and you were talking about it's a process. It doesn't just happen overnight, and how I've gotten through a lot of trying times of just keep reminding myself that it's a journey. It's not a destination. I'm not in a race to get to the end. You know, there are some good things that's happening along this journey.
It's a journey where you have to make many choices along the way.
Yes.
So choose well.
Choose well. Absolutely.
Choose well. Donna, you have anything else you want to say to our?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. It's definitely an honor to meet you, even though it's virtual.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll meet you in person, and we'll have lots more in-depth conversation, because you have shared a lot that resonate with myself. So I'm quite sure we'll have a lot more conversation. But I thank you so much for joining us and sharing, with us and our audience, of course, all the information that I'm quite sure someone can take away and definitely have something to think about.
What I'm about to say may or may not be relevant, but I recall years ago when I opened my real estate office, and it was that young pastor did the honor. So it was, so as I've said, we've been doing things together. I've seen him grown into now he's making a huge, major impact in the lives of others in his communities. And I want to congratulate you and say, just continue to do what you do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Oh, you're very welcome.
All right, folks, thank you, one. And this is the first time, but it won't be your last time back on this platform.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, Donna. So that was one.
That was awesome.
What else we have in store on this platform?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm still thinking about some of the stuff that one said.
So, still thinking about it?
His words is in my head. But I know that we can't be here all night.
We can't. But guess what? We can't be here all night, but we'll be here every Monday at 7:30 p.m. And I promise you this much. It's always going to be an engaging, exciting, power-packed conversation that we'll be having. And you said it earlier, the unfiltered conversation, real talk. And that's what it's all about. So, folks, we're going to say bye for now. Thank you for joining us, and blessings always.
Blessings always. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful and safe and pleasant evening.